My name is Guro Magie. I do mostly Serrada Escrima. I grew up in Lake Opakong, New Jersey, so it's in northern Jersey. I didn't start taking Eskrima though until I came down to Florida. I started in 2003 doing La Costa as well.
Okay.
And then I've played with some other systems, a little bit of Belinda Walk, a little bit of Pambuan. Some of my teachers, teacher, Lolo Dominador. I'm not sure if it was a official style or it was just a family style. Did some of that as well. My first one was from a guy called, his name was George Ashford, and he knew karate, Wing Chun, and boxing. And he taught me a little mix of each, and we sparred a lot. So, and then I did some Kung Fu, Pai Lum, under Glenn Wilson. And I did Wing Chun, did some JKD, did Muay Thai. So, a little bit of everything. The heritage, I might not look it, but I'm half Filipino. So I always wanted to try. Either never had the money, I was too poor as a college student, or just I didn't think there was one near me. So I started to look around, and that's when I found, they were called Extreme Harmony Martial Arts, when I found those guys. And that's when I first started doing FMA. I took both, like there was one class at 7 to 8, and then and that was La Costa blend, Innocento, La Costa blend, and then like from 8 to 9 was Serrada. So I completely was confused. Like I would take both. So my La Costa teacher wasn't teaching as much as my Serrada teacher, but I began to love the economy of motion in Serrada. It was quick and to the point, not very flashy at all. And that was it. It was down and dirty, and that's what I really liked about it. Yeah, so my first instructor was Sergie Albino, and I trained with him for about 4 years. And then Jimmy Tacosa came down in about 2006 and trained us for a little less than a year. Like 3 or 4 months at first, he left for a month, and then he came back another like 5 or 6 months. So that's my lineage. No, never. When I first started teaching, I hated it. I really just wanted to train and go fast. And anytime I taught, I had to slow down. So at first I left all the teaching to Sergie until he kept getting on me. And then eventually I started teaching, and then I started to enjoy it. When I started, I just wanted to train. There was a couple guys that had gone through the system with me and Jimmy. So we were at the same level. So we were at the same speed, me and the other guys, and we would just play during class instead of teaching. And Sergie, who my instructor was, who now was our partner in the new school, would complain like, hey guys, you know, come and help me teach. And we would just want to go fast. And that's all we kept doing was training with each other. And eventually I saw the light and started to teach. We started right shortly after Jimmy left the second time. We started with a few guys, and we were usually training at the park. And at one point we went to a karate school where we would teach their students and vice versa. So after that, we had moved to a MMA school for a short period of time, and we actually got to take MMA classes, which was very cool. And it was just continuing our training really with Sergie. And I was just helping him teach at that point. Most of the other guys who were training with me had moved away, so it was really just me and Sergie in town. So it was him and I teaching. And eventually we went from karate school to karate school, teaching out of their schools. But eventually we kept training out of the park because we had more freedom there and we could do more days. But Florida, it rains every day in the summertime and it's brutally hot. So we got to a point that, you know, got tired of that and started to rent a space. We started training in the backyard with Sergie's house and parks, wherever we could. We trained hard too. I remember those guys would hit me in the arms a lot to get me toughened up, to take strikes. We even sometimes trained with, you know, live blades just to get the point through. You know, no one ever got cut. It wasn't anything hardcore or anything, but it was sometimes live blade. And now I think toned everything down a little bit. I don't hit my students too hard. Like I used to get hit, and sometimes the guys would hit me, you know, my teachers would hit me to get me to react like I really would. And I don't want to do that. You know, I own my own school. I don't want to get sued too. So there's that. Now it's my school. But I try to keep the training realistic, and I do try to push my students, ramp them up slow. You know, everything slow and steady technique. And as they raise in level, I'll ramp up my feeding power. And it'll eventually get to a point that I kind of pressure test them on every technique. The main challenge is Filipino martial arts. A lot of people don't even know what it is. A lot of people have never heard of it. Even Filipinos, people who are Filipino have never heard of it. So teaching an art that's not known to the general public is hard. You know, it's not the new black right now. So that's one of the main challenges. And then just getting them in the door is the second part. You know, a lot of social media posts and meetups, things like that. Just general marketing. I've noticed all kinds. Like people, the most part is people with previous knowledge of martial arts, be it MMA, karate, or another Filipino arts or Wing Chun, tend to come to class. But then you get guys anywhere from like guys who like comic books who want to be Nightwing. I've seen that too. Guys who carry sticks around campus, you know, and they come to class and tell me they want to learn how to fight like Nightwing or some kind of other superhero. Daredevil, you know, other guys who fight with sticks. So, and then Wing Chun guys I found a lot too. I think they're drawn to Serrada because of that center line, use of center line that Serrada has. So we're pretty open to everybody, but we do test them. And you know, if they seem a little crazy, I've had one guy actually tell me he had vendettas. So that guy, I made do positions for a week. And usually they don't last more than a couple days, and he didn't last too long. So he walked out on his own terms. I didn't tell him to leave, he left on his own. Yeah, again, most of the time I would just give them techniques that are so boring that to do them over again, kind of the old Shaolin style of waiting outside the gate, and you know, they usually leave. But we've had some situations. We had one guy who physically tried to assault my other student. And he had anger issues, and I was keeping an eye on him. And just one day, and we had to break it up and ask him to leave and not come back. Had another guy who was more of a friend in the Eskrima circle, death match another instructor, death challenge him. Not death match, but death challenge him, and I had to cut ties with him. All right, so yeah, my short-term goals with Orlando Eskrima is to just maintain what we've been building, maybe get some more new equipment, maybe more boxing gloves and stuff like that, some more sparring gear. The long-term goal, you know, we've been asked a lot if we have online classes, and one of my long-term goals is to do some online classes or some videos up on our website going. And as far as expanding, we've thought about it. We've expanded before COVID to Daytona Beach, and then since COVID hit, I haven't gone back to Daytona yet. The other guy who is heading up Daytona was Arthur. He's my guy out there, and his gym was taking a hit, so we just decided to just wait until COVID settles down a little bit better, and then we'll reopen Daytona. They could either call me direct. My number is on most of our social media and on our website, or they could email me, or they could text me. We have Instagram, Orlando Eskrima Instagram, Orlando Eskrima TikTok, and on Facebook as well. you.